Tucker Carlson turns on Trump and says he reached his shelf life, as he blames the president for U.S. Capitol riot after he recklessly encouraged his supporters. Tucker Carlson on Thursday night called out President Donald Trump after he recklessly encouraged his supporters to invade the U.S. Capitol on Wednesday, sparking violence that has resulted in 5 fatalities. Carlson, a Trump ally who has spent the majority of his presidential term praising and protecting him, claimed that the president has now reached the end of his shelf life and it was not healthy for the nation to continue being focused on a single man. The Fox host added that Trump has now reached his expiration date and questioned whether the president is worth all of this time and attention. However, Carlson did continue to defend the actions of Trump's loyalists, despite Wednesday's violent scenes, as he blasted the Republican Party for not caring about the president's base and taunted them for having spent too long defending the personal reputations of its leaders. He claimed that the storming of the Capitol yesterday was simply a political protest that got out of hand. His comments came as the Wall Street Journal, which like Fox is owned by Rupert Murdoch, called on Trump to resign before he is impeached in an abrupt about-turn from the paper. Carlson has continued to defend President Trump in the past few weeks even as his chances of overturning the election became less and less likely and no evidence of widespread fraud was unearthed. Yet, he appeared to jump ship on Thursday night, while saying he still supported the president's base in claiming that the Democrats were using Wednesday's events as a pretext for an unprecedented crackdown on civil liberties. Just in the last several hours we have heard people in positions of power and authority demand that those who support Donald Trump should no longer be allowed to publish books or use the internet or fly on airplanes, he fumed. Carlson also took issue with the Democratic reaction to yesterday's events and claimed that the left is wrong for branding the actions of Trump supporters as racist and terrorism. CNN describes it as an insurrection. Chuck Schumer likened it to Pearl Harbor. It was our generation's 9/11 and, needless to say, it was white supremacy, he said. They understand how to use language, not simply to describe what is happening, they use it to political ends. It wasn't an insurrection, stop with the lying. While Carlson has remained a staunch Trump defender throughout most of his presidency, the Fox host has been criticized by some viewers for some instances of pushback to Trump's actions over the past year. On June 2, Carlson had called on the president to do more as violence erupted in the early days of the protests over George Floyd's deaths, and stated that he would not be re-elected if he did not prove that he could protect the American people. Just 2 weeks later, Carlson criticized the president again for not taking action to bring down the Chaz-occupied zone in Seattle after Trump said he was enjoying sitting back and watching the crime spree that erupted there. After the election, Carlson faced high levels of backlash from Trump's supporters after he called out the president's attorney Sidney Powell for pushing conspiracy theories, with some viewers claiming they were abandoning Fox News as a result. Another Trump ally at Fox, Sean Hannity, also acknowledged that Joe Biden would now become president in 2 weeks' time as he questioned Thursday how the breach of the Capitol had happened and why law enforcement was not more prepared for the thousands who arrived to the rally. On Thursday night, a Capitol police officer became the 5th fatality of Wednesday's riots as Trump acknowledged that the election was lost and pleaded for calm.